Welcome back to Lariat TV News. Flu season is here, and we'll tell you what you need to know. I'm Gracie Savage.
And I'm Marissa Moniz. This week we remember those who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001.
The annual Carolyn recital took place at Pat Neff on Wednesday evening to honor those that were lost on 9/11. Claire Goodyear brings you the story.
Music rings out over campus as Baylor pauses to remember the countless lives lost 23 years ago today.
I think it's a really special way to kind of memorialize it so everybody walking around campus can understand and can see this is what it's playing for and appreciate it.
To honor 9/11, University Caroliner Lynette Geary presented a recital that could be heard flowing out of Pat Neff on Wednesday evening.
There's a lot of people here who are definitely affected from those events. With this music, a lot of people kind of mourn their losses and stuff like that, but also have happiness at the same time because it brings them all the fond memories that they have with their loved ones.
Although many present-day Baylor students weren't even alive yet to witness the tragedy in 2001, the music served as a reminder of the lives lost and of those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
It makes me feel proud that my university is working to memorialize such a horrific tragedy that happened in our country. It makes me proud to go here and to know that it's appreciated.
Together, we remember. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Goodyear.
Baylor ROTC held their annual McLean March Wednesday morning in honor of 9/11. Over 300 people attended and started their day climbing 2,079 stairs at what would have been the same time first responders were going up the Twin Towers 23 years ago. This event isn't just about physical endurance, it's about remembering the courage of those who put their lives on the line. Some ROTC members felt the weight of the event's history as they climbed and honored the sacrifice and bravery of 9/11 first responders.
I think it's just a lot of remembering the firefighters and first responders that gave their lives that day. So we're out here doing this in nice weather and just have a nice school day afterwards, and they were doing this when the world was quite literally in flames. And so,
with the flu going around, Baylor is taking precautions and offering free flu vaccines. Irma Pena tells us more.
Flu season is here and it continues to spread across campus. To help combat this, Baylor Health Services is offering free flu vaccines for all students.
And screening is helpful, and prevention is even more helpful. So if you're feeling well, come in and get your flu shot. If you are feeling sick, come in and get checked out, and we'll give you extra guidance as needed.
They're located on the second floor of the Student Life Center, and you can schedule an appointment to get your flu shot in just a few minutes. Whether you're feeling under the weather or looking to stay ahead of illness, their team is ready to provide the care you need.
We also obviously have a primary care clinic, and we're able to see people if they're really concerned, like they feel like they're getting worse, or they just want to find out what it is that they have. We have plenty of appointments.
They're open weekdays from 8 to 5 and also on Saturdays from 9 to 1. If you're not able to go to the SLIC, there will also be a mobile clinic at different spots around campus throughout the semester. For Lariat TV News, I'm Irma Pena.
This Baylor couple met exactly 56 years ago on September 13th, 1968. LTVN's Lauren Holcomb shares how their welcome week ended in a wedding.
We are here at Emmons Cliff today, where one Baylor couple got engaged decades ago after finding love at Welcome Week. Here's their story. Roy Nash was a sophomore Baylor camp counselor looking with his roommate for pretty freshman girls to join them on a date.
We're peeking in the door and seeing all these freshmen and so forth, and we were trying to pick out exactly which women are we going to ask to go water skiing with us on Sunday.
Jane Grantham and her friends got the boys' attention, and it wasn't a one-way street.
For some reason, it caught my eye that these guys had walked in the back corner door.
The boys took the girls on that Sunday date, and after that day, Roy continued to take Jane out every single night. Roy was well known on campus as a counselor and basketball player, so Jane wasn't the only girl crushing on him.
I would see these notes in his windshield wipers, so I always took them.
And I never saw them, I
He
guess.
never saw them.
After 2 years of going steady, they tied the knot in 1970.
We wanted to marry early so that we could help raise our grandkids.
Being in love is a wonderful thing, but learning to live in love is very different.
And that's exactly what they've been doing for almost 54 years now.
That was more important to me, by the way, than all the grades and all of that kind of playing basketball or whatever, was finding the right woman to spend the life with.
The couple has one piece of advice for students today.
Don't pass up a chance. Tell God all the time He did a good thing by putting us together.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Lauren Holcomb.
After a year of startup, Baylor Trap and Ski is up and running. Whether you've been to the range a few times or want to take a shot at something new, this club is for all levels. Other Texas universities have similar groups, and some of their alums have gone to the Olympics. Club President Harrison Andrew decided Baylor should get in on that action.
We are new, so we also have a lot more room to adapt and change, and we can look at other schools and see what they've done and do something a little bit different if we need to.
You can join the club on Connect or reach out at Baylor Trap and Ski for more information. Coming up, a famous author visited Baylor.
And see how one Baylor couple is celebrating their 56th anniversary next.
Let there be light. Let there be roommates and teammates and strangers who become family. Let there be marching and cheering. Let there be challenging courses and time to share. Scholarship and championships. Let there be groundbreaking and soul-searching. Let there be laughter. Let there be joy. Let there be light.
Notable author David Brooks spoke at Waco Hall on Tuesday, and many students were excited to hear about his new book. Maya Dulock gives us an inside look.
Baylor is hosting award-winning author and columnist David Brooks here at Waco Hall. Students, faculty, and the general public are given the opportunity to listen to David Brooks talk about his newest book, How to Know a Person.
Freshman students from the Honors College were assigned to read his new book this summer and got the chance to interact with him.
Favorite part about How to Know a Person was just all of the insight he gave me that I'm able to use.
Freshmen were also excited for the opportunity to ask him questions they had about his insights during the Q&A.
Just to hear what his thoughts are like in the moment, rather than a book that he's been able to work on, just to see what his responses are to some questions people might bring up.
Students reflect on how the book impacted them personally and realize how they can use the skills mentioned to strengthen their relationships.
I definitely would recommend reading it. I think it's useful for kids of all ages and also college students and just anyone from any walks of life.
The book, How to Know a Person by David Brooks, has impacted many, including the Baylor Honors students. For Lariat TV News, I'm Maya Dulock.
If you've been to any dining halls this semester, you might have noticed a change. The new program, Baylor Eats, is up and running, and Marissa Muniz has the details.
This year, Baylor has started a new partnership with Chartwell's Higher Education as a new dining and catering partner. Chartwell's has said their goal is to provide the campus community with a next-level experience through this new program called Baylor Eats.
So the way that we're looking to enhance the dining program here with Baylor and Chartwell's is to be innovative, safe, and with the double amount of culinarians that we have on campus, we bring a lot of culinary knowledge between both of us.
Baylor Eats has not only committed themselves to elevate our dining experiences with creative and diverse meals, but they've found ways to include everyone, even with dietary restrictions.
Previously, we only had one allergen station, but now we have this station which eliminates all top 9 allergens from recipes. We have added something called Feel Good Foods to our menu, and those menu items have a focus on immunity and just making your body feel good in general.
Each dining hall has added 4 delicious without stations for anyone with allergens. Baylor Dining said their halls focus on using fresh ingredients to serve every meal.
Today is really about creating a memorable experience to integrate within dining and make sure that all of the Baylor campus students and community feel super appreciated, understood, and heard.
For more information on Baylor Dining, hours, meals, and menus, follow at Baylor.eats on Instagram for updates, events, and even more. For Lariat TV News, I'm Marissa Muniz.
Meeting your professor one-on-one might sound scary, but it's a great resource for both students and professors. Professors take time out of their day to be available for students for whatever they need. Whether it's reviewing before a test or if you need to talk, professors enjoy when someone stops by their office. Based on class sizes, some professors find it difficult to connect with their students, like chemistry professor Tom McGrath, who has a 200-person class.
My job is definitely to not just get them to pass the course, but to actually understand the material properly and pass the course. I do just love getting to know my students.
There's a new group on campus, and it's an interactive way to practice your French. Table Français meets every Wednesday at 4:30 and plays games to perfect their French skills. Everyone is welcome to join, and don't worry if you aren't fluent. There's a seat for everyone at this table. If you're interested in joining, check out their Instagram page at Table Français Baylor.
It's a really safe and comfortable environment because a lot of the upper level speakers as well don't know everything. So it's like you're bound to forget a word or forget your grammar.
For some people, green and gold runs in their blood. LTBN's Gracie Savage has the story.
Baylor University is the place where 3 lifelong friends, Heather, Dana, and Kelly, all met. And now their 3 boys are freshman year roommates here, and this is their story.
It's fun to see the spirit, campus life, everything. Everybody is so excited to be here, and it's kind of contagious.
Heather, Kelly, and Dana all were freshmen at Baylor in the year 2000. They said they met in their first class on the first day of school, and the rest is history.
We weren't really good friends until our first class. My very first class at Baylor was psychology, and she was in there, and so we met and became fast friends, and then we all connected.
After college, the 3 women went their separate ways for a little bit, but after some time, they all eventually ended up back in Waco with their families, and that's when their boys started to become friends.
Kelly moved back with her family, I moved back with my family, and the boys ended up at the same school, and it was like without us even orchestrating it, the 3 of them just kind of
gravitated.
They're kind of the three stooges.
Yes.
They get in a lot of trouble together.
Now their 3 boys, CJ, Samuel, and Charlie, are all at Baylor together living in Martin, and their moms are so excited to watch their kids thrive the same way they did 20 years ago.
I think it'd be fun to do the Baylor experience all over again and kind of do it like our boys are doing. I feel like they're kind of living it up a little bit more than I did.
I know.
So,
I feel like we're living vicariously through them.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Gracie Savage. With the election less than 2 months away, political science professors are adjusting their courses to align with the presidential race. Professors are taking steps to adjust their curriculum, including different projects tailored to the elections. Students are following along with the race by covering the debate and local elections. Classes are also highlighting voter access and women in politics.
When you're having a presidential election, it's much more. About a third of your class is going to be on elections. Primary election, general election, electoral college, voting behavior.
Next, we're previewing football's blackout game against Air Force.
And an unlikely duo has teamed up on the tennis court. Stay tuned.
I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. This is how I want to live. Forever we'll be singing like, oh, I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. This is how I want to live. This is how I want to live. Forever we'll be singing like, oh, I'll never get used to this.
The Bears' record dropped to 1-1 Saturday after losing to Utah 23-12. The Bears struggled offensively in the first half, but were able to outscore the Utes in the second half. The Falcons are also 1-1 after a 17-7 loss to San Jose State last weekend. Their offense is averaging 154.5 yards per game rushing, 62.5 yards passing, and 217 yards per game of total offense. This will be Baylor and Air Force's 5th meeting in history, with Air Force winning their first against Baylor in 2022. The Bears are aiming to meet the Falcons' level of physicality.
It's just to prove a point that we're a physical team. Because, I mean, that's the reputation that Air Force and all the teams who run the triple option have, you know. So there's a lot of doubts the past couple of years just about our physicality. So this is the time to prove that we can match up with them. Not even match up, but just exceed anything that they bring.
Kickoff is set for 6:30 at McLean Stadium, with fans being encouraged to wear black in honor of Salute to Service. Baylor soccer welcomed 15th-ranked Oklahoma State to Betty Lou Mays Field for a Big 12 bout on Thursday night. Braden Murray has the story.
Baylor soccer dropped the Big 12 opener to number 15 Oklahoma State 1-0. After starting out the season 5-0, the Bears have now lost 2 straight.
Not sure there's much good that came out of this game, other than maybe a swift kick in the rear that we needed. And so, it's a hard lesson, and so from that perspective, we'll certainly try to frame it as we got to learn from this. Champions respond, they bounce back, they turn the page, and so that's what we're going to attempt to do.
The teams appeared evenly matched early in the first half, and the lone goal came in the 18th minute when Oklahoma State's ex-cadet Pineda scored off a corner kick from Loudon Wilson.
We don't want to be done just in the Big 12 tournament this year, so I guess just really paying attention to the details and things that we could have sharpened in the game. We definitely can learn some lessons from that alone in playing, but also just in morale and just having dominance and a presence individually. We just need more people to step up for us to make it farther.
The Bears were unable to pose a serious threat in the second half, only positing 2 shots on goal in 45 minutes. Next, Baylor hosts Texas State on Sunday afternoon in a non-conference tune-up game.
Every game's a final, that's what we've been saying all year. Whether they're conference or non-conference, it's going to help us along the road. And yeah, Coach said no tears, no nothing. We need to go out there with fury, straight faces, stone cold, and just run through anyone that comes our way.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Braden Murray.
Baylor men's tennis had success both internationally and at home over the summer, and along the way, 2 Bears shined as an unexpected duo. Here's the story. Baylor men's tennis has some excitement heading into the fall season. Over the summer, seniors Oscar Broström-Paulsen and Marko Milutinovic competed at the ITA National Summer Championships and came out on top as the men's doubles champions.
So for them to go to win tournaments to qualify for nationals, but then to go to nationals and have some single success, and then to win the doubles is pretty cool.
The tournament was their first time playing together as doubles partners. They faced off against athletes from Wichita State and Florida State in the qualifying rounds, taking both matches. In the finals, Oscar and Marko defeated Texas A&M to secure the championship.
To come back and spend the summer with us was not easy. Not easy to do. Long days, tough sessions. A lot of work got put in.
Both Oscar and Marko are international students who came to Baylor. Oscar from Denmark and Marko from Serbia.
We're far away from home. Talked about it earlier, we don't get to go home as much. So having guys and coaches and people around us that just care so much, it just makes the experience so much easier, so much more fun.
Marko is grateful for how the Baylor community has welcomed him with open arms.
It is a second family. It's a second home, and I wish I can stay here for another 4 years.
Oscar and Marko will now hope to carry over their success heading into the fall season, which begins September 13th with the Waco Fall Classic kickoff. Their performance over the summer has landed the 2 seniors a wildcard draw into one of the biggest qualifier tournaments for the NCAA Fall Individual Championship, which is set to be hosted at Baylor in November. For Lariat TV News, I'm Aiden Pham. Baylor men's tennis begins the 2024 season this week with the Waco Fall Classic kickoff. The Bears hope to bounce back from a down year where they finished 18-12 and are chasing a 12th conference title. The team will see a balance of experience from returning players in addition to some key new faces on the roster. With success both internationally and at home over the summer, Baylor men's tennis is looking to build on the momentum with this weekend's tournament, which will lead into the ITF Pro Circuit M15 Fayetteville next week in Arkansas.
Our roster is really strong. I have a ton of belief in the guys that we have top to bottom. We just have to continue to work on meeting that standard of excellence every single day.
The tournament this week will take place at the Waco Regional Tennis Center on Friday at 3 p.m. and run through Sunday. This weekend was full of top 25 matchups for volleyball. LTVN's Claire Marie Scott was there for Saturday's high-stakes match versus then number 6 Wisconsin.
Number 23 volleyball fell to number 6 Wisconsin in a 5-set match Saturday night after an upset to number 18 Minnesota the night before. The first 2 sets belonged to the Badgers, defeating the Bears 25-18 in set 1 and 25-14 in set 2.
We didn't take any big swings, and that's would have loved to just rip it and
get stuffed, maybe whatever, but like take 2-3 big swings. I think we're gonna win those. So that's something I gotta press into our team to really understand. Like that's what it takes to win, to finish those off.
In sets 3 and 4, Baylor ramped up the energy, capturing the sets 25-18 and 25-22. Set 5, though, went to Wisconsin, crushing the Bears' hopes of another top 25 defeat this weekend.
Margins are thin and every point and every play matters. I am so proud of Grace and everyone else for coming off the bench and doing great, as well as the fight that our whole team had to come back after the first 2 sets.
In between sets, the Bears relied on each other to keep energy high for their second 5-set match of the weekend.
I think that just being steadfast and like trusting each other was a super big thing that we just really were telling each other and focusing on, and like next play mentality was super important. Like if we lost a point, so what? Like let's just get the next one.
The Bears will be back in action in the Farrell Center on Tuesday to take on SMU. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Marie Scott.
For now, that's all for sports. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Aiden. It is not just sports. We'll bring you the news you need to know around campus and Waco.
Until we see you again, have a great week. And as always, sick 'em Bears.